Alrighty, welcome back. We're outside. I just had to take a little look at the car that we done here earlier. This is the second Bugatti that we're just, we took it inside and we were playing with. It's nice to see the snow piled on top of it because it kind of gives it the nice perspective without seeing all the weld lines on it. Looks good. Like it. We're getting quite a bit of snow here today, and we're outside here today because I need a piece to hang some pieces for Jolene's chassis. And I've got a sand shovel for a snow shovel. But it is what it is. And we have to do what we got to do. Living in Nova Scotia really makes you appreciate the good weather. Makes you appreciate things. That's all it does, makes you appreciate more. You have to work a little harder sometimes. Watch your toesies there, Fina. Watch your toesies. What we're going to do is I got this little thing over here that we hang parts on. This is actually a swing set that I got in the dump, and I took it and cut it apart and put a piece of exhaust pipe in the middle of it so we could hang pieces on it. Kind of wondered if it'd be easier going through there. I got the chassis there, haven't we? Nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. So if you can picture it, that's a swing set. Well, that swing set, had the chair swung, the other end's down there, piece of exhaust pipe, a bunch of washers nailed down on her. Jolene's my snow angel today. Want to hold that, sweetheart, please? Thank you. Remember, she's still jet setting, so if you want to vote for her, please do. Oh, don't hit that car. There's always something in the way, It's the way it goes. But you know what? We just keep on cruising. Don't we, baby?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, why? I'm going to have to take that out of there and open that door up. I guess this car content is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Well, I want that piece to hold them parts. So this is what I'm going to do to get it done. Jolene, you've been drinking again? Why? Why, baby? Why? I wonder if we can get that out through there. Oh, yeah. I'm hoping we can. Like Papa Smurf said. We'll get it inside here and then we'll deal with that in a minute. Takes what it takes, and that's what we do every time. There we go. Now, didn't take it in through the big doors, and you'll see why, because we got the chassis over there, and not willing to take the risk. I'm going to push this Elvis over here a little bit. Is the back hitting? Watch your head. Just want to make sure the back's not hitting. I'm going to take this jacket off. I know that. I'm getting warm already. The garage here is heated with in-floor heat. We have pipes running inside the cement. And the heat system's right there behind you. That's basically what it is. I used to have a wood stove in here, a furnace, but that led to a lot of extra hard work. That was keeping it going and cleaning up the paint jobs after you were done. And it wasn't that fun. Now, I'm caught on this thing. Now, would you? We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Funny story. Yesterday, after we got the chassis moved out, Jolene took off, went to the mountain, did some chores. I decided to go for this and weld a piece on the hood. And what I did is I got underneath there and I made the piece that fit the hood, put a bolt through it, put a nut through it to get it tight on there to give me a true read so it fit. I decided to get inside the car, fed the welder in through here, had it nutted on. I thought I could get the nut back off, got inside there with the light, welded that on the hood, went to undo the nut, couldn't get the nut off. So there I was, inside the hood. I started to panic for a little bit because, I don't know, I just started to panic. Like, here I was, I welded myself shut inside the hood, couldn't get the nut off the actuator, and I was inside the hood. I was ready to start beating the hood off it, and I looked and I seen a pair of vice grips that was hooked there, and I was able to get the vice grips on the nut and get it off. But funny story. It wasn't so funny at the time, I can tell you that. I did panic. Don't know why. Probably because I would have been there for a couple hours, and I wouldn't have liked that. Just more and more, just keep moving, eh? Just keep moving. We're going to set this stuff up in there. We'll sand some pieces, and this is what I usually hang everything off of that I'm doing. And wow. We won't have to water this down to get the dust off it. It's already watered down. It's been outside. We keep it outside, but we need it. Excuse me, sweetheart. Jolene trying to hold me up. So if you want to make one of these, you're painting parts, that sort of stuff. It's a swing. I got it outside the road, dump day. Cut it in half here. That's the other end. That's the swing part. Piece of exhaust pipe in the middle. A couple washers welded on. And I've used it this thing many times. Just gives you something to hang up stuff so you can paint it. And the reason we want to hang it up so we can paint both sides. It's one thing to lay something down, but sometimes it's nice that you can paint both sides. Ouch. Woo! Had a kink in my groin. Yeah. Yeah, I did so. Had a kink in my groin. Pulling this stuff back a little bit. And we'll shut the door for this stuff. Not right now, but we're going to shut the door when we go to paint. So basically, we got this in here, the door's shut. Come check this out. Got the hood piece. This is the piece that I've got for the hood welded on there. Kind of looks like a whatever. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it does fit the actuator. The actuator's right there, and I got it just tied down with a pair of vice grips. That's what set me free, them pair of vice grips. I was like Houdini underneath there. I had to find something. Anyways, I got this welded on here. I've got a hole in this side, Comes down on the actuator. I'm going to end up putting a washer around that hole just to make the metal a little thicker. I'd hate to see something wear and pop up. Put a washer around this hole. I'll weld this along here. Then I got them gussets again. And I'll come in here and I'll gusset each side so it looks half decent when we paint it. It doesn't look like something just hanging out of the hood, but we'll gusset it like that. And I have no problem welding it on because this is a hood welded on top of the hood, and we're welding where the hood's over top, so I'm fine with that. But that's what's going on. I'll set the hood down. All I did is made some stoppers there, just a piece of rubber stopper, a couple nuts that I wound up in some tape. And you can imagine me underneath the hood. Should still fit. And basically, I've got it where I want it. And if it's not where I want it, then I block it together because there's filler on the hood, filler on the front. Where I welded the hood around here, I know there's filler there, so I know I can bring it together, but that's sort of where I'm going with that. It fits down here nice. It's not looking bad. I'm happy with it. Oh, I want to ask a question on this car. This car is going black, like Jolene's chassis. And I'm just going to show the color again. It's going black. Oh, this is the colors I want to paint it. I'm just not sure how I want to paint it. I don't want to paint it like, what can I say? I'd like to have a few ideas if anybody wants to draw a picture or paint it. This is a 55 Merc. I've got the stainless that's running down straight through here. A lot of people do a little outline on the outside of their stainless sometimes. I got the stainless that comes down around here like a 55 Merc does. I think I'm going to use the chrome across the back and the window, so I could chrome something down here and put some different paint back here. But basically the paint I want to use is black, Calypso Coral, and Wimbledon White. Wimbledon White's like an off-white. It's a Ford color, but it's an off-white. You know, I'm thinking black, Calypso Coral in here like they always do. Maybe outline the chrome in Calypso Coral with a white pinstripe. Maybe this section here all in white. You know, if I did that, I could chrome that out. And how I do that is I use that, I call it Bad Chad Flexible Chrome. I showed how to do a bumper with it one time. Yeah, and I use that stuff quite a bit because it's reasonable and it does the trick. So it's black, Calypso Coral, and I want to use a Wimbledon White. And a Wimbledon White is it's not white, it's off-white. And if anybody would like to give me a paint design on how to paint that bad boy with them three colors, I would take it in my brain and see if I like it or not. There's a man, his name is James Laga, and he designs a bunch of cars, and he puts the paint scheme on them. I think the last one he done was it a Nosemobile? I'm not sure, but he did I think it was black and Calypso Coral, and it really looked nice how he did that. But what can I say? If you want to draw up something that I can paint this car, you can tell there's a big blog on the hood. The front end's a little different, but 3 different colors. If you have a suggestion, I'd muchly gladly like to look at it, just because I do not want to do something that somebody has already done before. I'd like to do something a little different if I could. And we're going to set this stuff up. Me and Jolene are going to work together. I hope Jolene's on the team today. Yeah. She's on the team. So we're going to set up and get a couple things sanded and hung up and get ready to rock and roll and show you how we do it. So you can do your camera thing, baby. You can start sanding them pieces if you like, them control arms. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get some. Jolene took off and did this. She put some filler on that. I am not going to get out the feather fill and prime that. I am going to get out the one step, see what it looks like, and then we'll sand the one step and we'll paint it. These are just control arms, and we'll do that. We got some seam sealing to do. See where it's welded along here? I want to seam seal that. I'll run some tape in there so it doesn't go in the holes, and then I'll just put a little seam sealer on that. We've got the rear end to do. She found a scratch on the back side of it, so she got the fill out, and I said, Jolene. But it's her car. She can do as she pleases. She found a little, whatever. We'll just leave her be. It's her car. Let her do what she likes, and we'll get some stuff done. We'll show you how we get it done. Go for it, sweetheart. I'm going to get some primer. I am really wanting to build something, you know, or not build something. I know we're building cars as we presently are talking, but I really want to, I like making stuff, you know, chopping stuff. This is called paint and body work. That's what it's called, paint and body work. And sometimes it's monotonous. It has to be done to every car that you do, unless you want to build a car that's not painted and finished that way, and that's everybody's choice. And it's a good thing that, you know, they call them rat rods. There's some that I consider rat rods, but a lot of cars I don't consider rat rods. I consider them works in progress. And let's face it, if you like the idea of your car being called a rat rod, that's fine. I'm not generally call my cars rat rods. I call them works in progress. And the reason being is because I want to put paint on them at the end of the day. I'd like to put paint on them. All right. I guess that's fine. We'll shut the door to paint this stuff. I just want to get some primer on this to see what Jolene's mud work looks like. And that's the way you tell generally, is to put a little primer on it to see what it looks like. And then what we'll do is we'll sand it and make it look like it should. The motor mounts are ready, so I'll get them hung on there. Them are almost ready. I put a little more primer on them because Jolene had touched them up, didn't you?
Yep.
You put a little filler on a couple places and she touched them up. Let's get that roughness off right there. What is that?
It's 400.
Okay, just make sure you get that off, please and thank you, if possible. Did you do any on this one? Or did you leave that one alone? That one looks good, don't it? That one looks good. Well, this is Lacquer Primer. This is not high-dollar primer. This is not any kind of build whatsoever. It's primer. Just hitting a few places. We'll sand that. The feather fill, the stuff that we use that we put hardener in, you can fill over that and it fills quite nice, it does. When you put fill over top of it, I find that it does a nice job. The lacquer, this stuff here, you would not dare put any filler over top of it because it will fall right off. So you have to be careful in that sense. Where'd the 80 grit go? I got some. Actually, piece of 220. I just want a junk piece of 80. I don't want a good piece of 80. I want a piece of junk 80. Any junk 80?
There might be.
Oh, I'll get a piece in the garbage. I don't want to rip up a good piece just to do that little tiny bit of filler. It's not in me. It's not in me. And the reason being is that little sheet of paper right there, what, $1.25? Probably $1.25. For me to go over and rip off a new piece at $1.25, nah. Throwing away money is what you're doing. Just going to take this filler off with an 80. This is over top of urethane, so it sticks quite nicely. And I repeat myself because I do not, sometimes not everybody is hearing what I'm saying, and I want anybody that's listening or watching to hear, I guess. But the lacquer primer, you would not dare put filler over top of lacquer primer. Do not do it. You will be not happy with what the outcome. This urethane primer is awesome for filler over top. Awesome. Jolene's awesome. She's a jet setter.
Not yet.
She's currently in first place, are you not?
Yeah, my group. I don't know how many groups there are, but
Awesome.
yeah.
We're supposed to get a nice size amount of snow today, and there's nothing better, like I said to Jolene as we were down the store getting our storm groceries, a box of beer and some chippies and
Chocolate covered pretzels.
chocolate covered pretzels. It's all good, baby. It's all good. This lacquer primer dries really nice and really quick, which is good. So I can put another little coat on. And this doesn't look bad. Just want to put a little coat on so we can sand it. Man, you did a good job, baby.
Thanks.
You did a good job. Awesome. Your control arm is going to look like your chassis. So we're just going to knock that off. So I 80'd that filler just because I basically wouldn't want to sand it with anything finer. Now I'm probably going to guide coat that and sand it with a 220 first and then rub over it with a 400. Actually, I want to get these out of my way. These have all been done with 400, have they not, sweetheart?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a little bit of seam sealer. I'm going to seam seal the welds like I did on the chassis, and then I'll just hang them up and they'll be out of my way. The spindles have already been sanded. Seam sealer. This is a hard time in the shop right now, having that chassis all painted nice like that and having it out there where it's all dirty, and it's just a hard time, and having the paint room inside like this, it's just a hard time because we have something nice with something that we have got work to do on, and it's just, it doesn't mix sometimes. It doesn't mix sometimes, but we obviously show that you can still do it. You still can do it. Keeps us real. That a baby?
Yep.
Keeps us real. What I mean real is keeps us working hard. I'm just going to put a little bit like that. Yeah, I must admit, ever since we did the chassis and it turned out the way it did, Jolene has seen the light.
What?
Why?
What do you mean?
Because you realize how pretty it looks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't think Jolene would have ever fixed that scrape in the, or the scrape, but in the rear end if you didn't realize that your chassis looks so nice, in my opinion. And you know what my opinion is? My belly button. Everybody's got one.
There's a couple places on here
that don't listen. We're not trying to win any awards. We're trying to make it look nice. And if we decide to make a team and go try to win something, well, then that's the case. That's what we'll do. How's that?
All right.
Okay. But let's face it, you're probably going to drive this thing up and down the road a couple times, are you not? A couple times?
Probably.
Well. Huh, well, fine. Go to Winners and buy a new coat, or
Yeah.
this is the underneath of the mount, so you would never see this. I say never, but it'd be a hard see. But where we are doing all the welds and soften them up, I might as well do these too. We're painting both sides. We want to get both sides painted in and out. Yeah, it's nice to see the cars that are not finished in the snow. You really can see what they can look like. And this stuff shrinks back, the seam sealer, it shrinks back. And what I mean by shrinks back, it reveals more than it shows. Or more than, just going to hang this up here for now, seeing where we got it. Seam seal, get it out of the way.
Is this all going to be hidden?
No, it's not going to be hidden, but there's 4 bolts that go up through here. You're going to see, well, you're not going to see any of it really because it's so far underneath the car that it doesn't matter. But just rub over 400, just rub over it easy. Just as long as it's scratched a little bit, just rub over it. It's not like it has to be like the outside of your car. This stuff, seam sealer, you should wait like a half hour or better before you paint. If not, you will it'll crack on you. The seam sealer will crack as if it wanted to dry and you didn't give it time. Basically, that's about the end of it. And I know that because I've done it. Now, if we were going for the big times, and what I mean by the big times is a big show and trying to win something, you would never seam seal a weld. No, you wouldn't. Just trying to cheat here a little bit.
What would you do? Fill it?
Yes. Yes, you'd fill it. Grind it and fill it. Make it look the best it could possibly look. So, don't hold it against me, sweetheart, but I'm trying to, move the process forward a little faster than normal, that's all. That's all. And it all depends what you're going for, too. Like, let's face it, if you're going to drive a car, to me, if you were going to drive a car, like drive it, use it, I would never do the underside like this. I would never do it. And the reason I feel that way is because it defeats the purpose, you know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't do the rotisserie job if I was driving the car. I would clean the car up underneath and let it go from there. Maybe a rock guard or like you say, a powder coat the chassis or something like that. But if you're going to drive your car lots, I wouldn't go that far with the underneath of it. It seems what should I say? It seems pointless if you're going to drive your car all the time to have it look like that. If you're going to show it and take it home and take care of it and all that sort of stuff, yeah, I guess so. But to go this far and run it up and down the road and have it dirty and not look after it, nah. Clean her up underneath and be happy. That's my opinion. It's a lot of money to do what we're doing. It's a lot of money. For the labor is what I'm saying, for the labor. So it seems to be a lot of money. That's why I guess I call it not pointless, just over the top for something that you're going to run up and down the road. I want to do it again on this side. I think we watched a little clip of Salsa's truck, his Coke truck, have a Coke?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
That is.
Sounded mean. Sounded mean. And, you know, he's using his brain. Coke cooler down the road, turned it into a truck. Cool. I don't know if I even should have done that, but I did. Mine would have to be have a Pepsi.
Yeah.
Have a Pepsi. Yeah, I don't know if I even should have. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Pretty cool. That's the fun part about doing stuff like this. You can build and do whatever you like to make you happy. And like I said before, that's generally what we do full time. And a baby.
Yep.
Yep. I'm not a big reader or a what can I say? You know, read comments, stuff like that. But I do like looking at pictures, and I like looking at pictures and stuff. So when Sosa showed his truck, I made sure I watched. So if you want to send in a picture of your car, I enjoy it.
I don't think you can do that on YouTube, but you can on Facebook.
Where do I want to go with the... Nope, got to seam seal that first. Got to seam seal that first. That looks pretty good, Jolene. You did a good job on that. Looks good. Looks good. Happy, happy, happy. Looks better than it did, that's for sure. Alrighty, I'm going to take and run. Pick this up. On these here, we filled out the front side. We welded it all the way along there. I think we showed you and welded it all the way along there. It's just ramrod, and that's perforated metal. And we welded this on here. And when you look at that there, that's got no weld mark. We did not grind it off. We filled it out, and that's what it would look like if you did it all. So when we paint this piece, you'll know what it looks like when you fill something out and make it look good. Right there is what it's going to look like on both of those. That looks good on that one too. I don't know if you can see there. How it looks like that. That's how you would do it instead of doing the seam sealer thing. I don't know why we didn't do the seam sealer there. I think because we sectioned this arm and we want this arm to look right. So underneath this bad boy, let's flip that over. I'm going to grab a little tape. Grab a little tape. You see, I do not like getting out a whole bunch of rolls of tape, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. I guess this will work. I had a yellow roll around here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, so if anybody can come up with a paint scheme or a paint scheme, I got the colors, I just want the scheme. I got the colors, I just want the scheme. I'm putting tape on this because I do not want the seam sealer to go out through the holes. And I want to seam seal what's going on. So I'm just going to put the tape. And then I'll tape it on the other side so it doesn't get all over the arm. I've done a lot of seam sealing this way too. I find it leaves an edge sometimes, and then when I'm doing it with my finger, I'm hoping that it's feathering off. Feathering it off means that you don't see the edge.
I think I've seen a comment on Facebook. Somebody said when you put the seam sealer on, a trick that they do is like they spray it after with soapy water and then rub their hand on it and said like, try it and you'll thank me later type of thing.
No doubt in my mind. Just don't know if I'm at the point where we're at soapy water where we're getting ready to paint. But yes, I understand that method. There's some people that are really, really good at it, and obviously you probably are really good at it because you come up with that idea. But I've seen a lot of people dip their fingers in thinner and keep running their fingers through it, but it keeps getting it soft, I find. But yeah, no doubt in my mind. I guess that if we were doing that, I'm thinking that we're going for the Riddler Award. We get the old soapy water and we start running there and all that stuff. Maybe not. Maybe. But the Lacquer Primer is nice because it dries very quickly. As you can tell, I picked that up. Just going to come over here, and do this side. I don't want very much. I just want to get the seam. Basically, that's about it. This one's got some holes. If it went out through the holes, it just wouldn't look good. I have to dig it off. I don't want to do that. It's quite a bit of work just to get some seam sealer in there, but like I said, I don't want it down through the holes of the control arm. And I do not want that gap looking. It'll look much better just having some seam sealer on it. That's basically the end of it. It's just like painting a house. I'm trying to get the seams filled so it looks better, like the moldings of a house. Just look better. And I know I've got it all when the primer's not showing. You know, the primer can't be showing for me to say I've got it. And I don't want a big bunch in there because I'll have a seam when I pull the tape off. I want just enough. What nursery rhymes that in? Do this one on this one just a little bit one more time, just because I can see a little gray. Now this stuff can do funny stuff when you take that off. It can get slingy. It can. Feathered off there a little bit. All this stuff takes time, obviously. Get my lobster claw in there. That's basically all I wanted. I know it's hard to believe, but that's all I wanted. I just wanted it to go in that seam so we can't tell that there's any seam there. It's good enough. I guess I'll have to ask for Jolene's approval on that, won't I, huh? She filled out the arms are ready to rock and roll?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I still got to finish that one.
See the little, okay, must be just laying in the pockets of the, where I welded it.
Yeah, I might be able to scuff it with 80.
No, We're painting. Just dig your finger into it a little bit. That's got it, see? Hang on her. And there were just welding marks and grinding marks where I welded that on there and ground it. It was on the edge, yes it is, but it still needs filler. If it wanted to be perfect, we're not going there. I'll leave that be. But you've seen how I got that dug out there. I've been talking to Jolene about us building a car for a show. I've been just talking about it, right? Building a car for a show. And we'll make up a little team, me and Jolene. Maybe we can get Aiden on us with us or something, maybe. And so we could take it to a show so we can show everybody the process and the car. It's, you know, we have, you know, stuff that we've done, but, you know, not everybody gets to see it. And if we built something like that, then we could take it somewhere and show them. And have fun with it at the same time. That's basically what it would be. It would be called fun. To have fun. Me and Jolene I can't wait for the summer in August to go to Pine Tree Jamboree and race the little 36 that Jolene has. I think that's going to be fun. That's going to be a blast, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I sit back and watch Jolene race the car and get competitive. Shh, that'd be a blast for me. A blast. And the pit crew could probably drink beer, couldn't he?
Maybe.
Probably. Well, I don't have to drink it while you're...
You got a race too.
No.
Yes.
Nope. It's not my deal. I built the car. I want you to race it. I want you to have the fun. I get up there and break it, you'd be madder than a hornet. Wouldn't you?
Probably.
Ha! That makes me laugh. Ha, probably. But anyways, I was looked at that car the other day. It's over in the building. We had an old shed over here. It's over there. I get looking at it. Get a couple races out of it, and then I can make quite a car out of that, you know. It's not that far off to make quite a custom out of that. You know, we got quite a bit of work done to it.
What do you mean, like painting it?
Oh, man, you could put some fenders on that and lower that down. Man, that thing looked cool. Uh-oh. Better watch my licorice, boys. Better watch my licorice. I'm just thinking out loud. Wipe that off, get a little thinner, and wipe that off. All I did is get some Wonder why we go in the house with stuff on our feet sometimes. I chuck it all on the ground there. Take a little thinner. I got a little bit of seam sealer on a piece. Have some more stuff painted. We will. That'll be nice. Put all new ball joints on her.
We're painting today.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Why would we not? We have a nice snowy day. This is the day to go for it, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. It won't take long. It won't take long. Just clean things up. Make sure everything's good. We'll go over and wipe everything off. Do the best job we can. And we'll get hopefully you can get the chassis together. I'm not looking forward to detailing the engine, but it wasn't where I want it to be, so let's wash her off and see what we can do to make it detailed a little bit better. I'm going to get Jolene to buy some stainless steel headers for your car.
If I can find them.
If she can find them, you can find them.
It seems like they all come with a straight pipe too or something.
That's fine.
It's big money.
Is it big money?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we won't then. Bernie might have exhaust down there that you could acquire.
We still have to make the exhaust box or the muffler box.
The muffler. Maybe you should make it.
That'd
You
be
can make
cool.
it.
Probably.
Yes, yes, you can make it. Just 6 little pipes coming at the end. Nothing to it. Piece of piss.
Maybe.
Piece of piss.
It'd be fun.
Weld her up and make it. Someone says, where'd you get the muffler? Say, I made it. Couldn't you?
Yeah.
Say, I made it. I know one thing. We're not hanging the stuff on this stuff. We're going to get some zip ties and hang it that way because I see paint just fell off that piece. A piece of paint fell off that, went on that. Chips of paint fell off the coat hanger.
Okay.
So we'll do it with, I got some zip ties, and we'll zip tie stuff up. That's what we're going to do. Zip ties. Hopefully that'll work. Should. Just as good as anything else. I'm going to snip all them off. Ouch. Throw them up there. And some of this stuff, where we zip tie it, there will be no paint. So this is what we'll do. When we zip tie that on there, there'll be no paint around the edge of that. We'll take what?
Black nail polish.
Black nail polish and just touch up the places that then we put it back on. On the chassis, we got the bar across the back where the things are setting, the jack stands. And we'll just take a piece of plastic, wrap over top of it, wrap 2 pieces of tape around the edge of the plastic, and then I'll just get a small little gun and paint that round bar across the back. We might even touch up, yeah, wherever we want to touch up, that's what we'll do. All right, baby. I'm going to get you to hold this thing while I put it on. And the reason being is I've seen tape falling out of the, or not tape, but paint falling. Just hold this. Trying to get your hands in the seam sealer. Go and put your hands in the seam sealer. Bring it over here, please, and thank you. Just wonder if I want 2 or not. You know what I mean? 2 together, hang it down a little bit lower.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2. Here we go. There. Fresh new hang. How many pieces have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to put a couple of them together, I guess, close by. 2, 3. That's fine. That's fine. I need you, Jolene.
What?
I need you.
You need me?
Yeah, I need you to hold the motor mount.
All right.
I'm a needy bugger. What we'll do with the rear end is what we'll get. That's why I took the engine picker off. We'll hook a couple bolts in one of the brackets there, and then we'll pick it up that way, and we'll hold it so we can paint both sides. Let's hold the motor mount there, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Yeah, we'll do the exact same thing. Yeah. And also on these things, you get a little closer for me. On these things, we can. Here we go. Cool. And we'll use all new bolts. All new bolts. This one's good. We're going to hang this from this. We'll hang this from here. Right here. Okay. Take this one out of here. We got the transmission mount to paint. Over there,
Need to sand it?
We do. We want to put that close by there, do we? Or we'll hang it here for now. I'll just put this one in first, and I'll get another one. Bring it over, please and thank you. Yep. Good. Then we can touch that up. If there's any black paint that we want to touch up, nail polish. Seems like a pretty basic thing. Nail polish, got your own little brush. It's got hardener in it, it dries quickly. It's got a shine to it, and we use it often. What do you think about that? You like that? You okay with that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. She's okay with it. Not okay with that, or what?
It's kind of an edge, but...
Do you want to rub it?
Yeah.
Where's the edge?
Right in there.
You're getting pretty fussy, but go for it. She's getting fussy, boys. She's getting fussy. Are these done?
No.
Okay.
One is, I think. The far one.
Okay. So I can wipe it off?
Yeah.
We'll wipe them off up there. It'll be fine. Or I'll get a rag and wipe it off. Get a good rag. She wants to make it better. You can't stop her from that. Making something better. Go for it, sweetheart. Go for it. Just go easy on. Well, it don't matter. That primer's thin, so it'll come off quite quickly. It'll come off quite quickly. That's a good thing about the lacquer primers. You can really put it on. You can sand it fairly quick, and that's why a lot of people like it, because you can do the work. This urethane stuff, you really have to do the work, and then wait. After you prime, you have to wait. Let it set for a day, generally, and you can let it set longer than that if you want to. It all depends on you.
I didn't think the one step was sandable.
Most certainly, it's more, well, I say more sandable. It's more, yeah, it's for that really.
Okay.
So you can sand it quickly and get it over and dealt with. I'm going to put this right here. Are you happy with that now? Are you more happy with it?
Yep.
There you go. If you're more happy with it, it makes me happy.
What about this right here? Does that need to be sanded?
It's kind of got a coarse, I'd say it's fine, you know. You can rub over it if you want to. There she goes, boys. There she goes. Just kind of wondering. Yeah, we're going to need all these areas, so I might as well just hang them all up. Use every one of them. And also, here in Nova Scotia, there is not many cars. There's not a whole bunch of cars around that you can just go buy an old car and have fun with it. No, there's not. That's why generally you see us fixing stuff that's derelict or junk. And basically there's not a whole bunch of cars that you can, well, there's a few cars around, but I really don't feel like spending the money on the cars to fix and play with. Yeah. You know, to buy a $1,000 body around here, you really have to be on the hunt. And you're not going to get much. The 36 Ford that we had and we made into a race car, that we paid, what did we pay, $1,000 for that?
15, I thought, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. It was $1,000, or it probably ended up to be about $2,000 by the time we got there. We paid for it. We had a room because we went to the next province, New Brunswick, almost to the border of Maine, to buy that car. It was right across the border, actually. And that car never had a floor in it. The door was smashed in it. Obviously, you've seen it. And before we even started doing the videos on it, we had to try to get it back in shape, did we not? We had 3 of us wrestling with it, trying to get the doors welded shut, to trying to make it straight again. And that's basically what you get here for $1,000 or $1,500, is something that's not basically much good. But that's where we like to start, because that's where the money's right. If we're going to spend money on it, we don't want to spend something, you know, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on something that we're going to fix and cut apart. We're not there yet. And it's too much fun to build something from nothing than it is to cut something that's drivable. So when it comes to chassis around here, you have to do what we've done to make it look like anything. There's generally a lot of work to make a chassis look good here, unless you're buying new or if you've got something that you spend a bunch of money on.
Is that a grease fitting?
We'll maybe tech them out and put brand new ones in.
Okay.
Let's put that up. We'll take that and put brand new ones. Let's hang it by this piece. I think. Why not? Second. Give me a little bit. Yeah, I'm quite, not say envious. I'm not really envious of much, but envious of some of the cars that I see like out west in like Saskatchewan and Alberta and British Columbia. I'm kind of envious because they have more, seems to have more of the cars that I would enjoy, but I love Nova Scotia. It's like Dorothy said, there's no place like home. Is this one done? I'll just rub it over a little bit. See that primer, how soft that sands? It sands quite nice. And quickly. Not that it needs sanding because it's so thin, but don't really want to make it look like that, but you want to help me hang this bad boy? And we'll take some Windex and a rag. We'll go squirt, 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 wash it all down, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. And we'll do the exact same process as we did on the chassis. I would like to change guns when I do this. When I do this one, I would use a, don't know if I got it or not, if I paint this stuff here, I'll show you the gun I would use. This is the gun I would use to paint this stuff. It's a smaller gun, less product. Yeah, that's the gun I would use, and hopefully that'll clean up so I can spray all the stuff with this. I even spray the rear end with this. Just less product, easier to handle, not as much paint being thrown around. That's what I'll use. I'm going to pick this stuff up now. See if the seam sealer's dry pretty well. Half hour for your seam sealer. Try and trip myself up.
I don't remember
What?
ever ever sanding control arms like on the other builds that we've done?
Nope, we didn't.
We didn't?
No. We sandblasted them, epoxied and rock guarded.
Okay.
That's basically what we did on a lot of the other builds. We actually did the giveaway car for Fox Harbor. That chassis was brand new from front to back. Mm-hmm. Air ride. I have to recall this stuff because I don't remember so vivid. It was brand new square stock all the way front to back, air ride front and back. We base cleared that chassis. Did we base clear it?
Yeah, we did.
We base cleared that chassis. But the chassis was new.
Like a lot of times if you buy control arms.
Yeah, they're powder coated or
okay.
They're really nice. So. I like the look of rock guard on the underneath of a car. I like the satin black look. I find it hides nicer, it makes things disappear, and it seems to be reasonable, and it's easy to put on. Almost ready? No?
I don't know.
Oh, she's inspecting it. That's basically what it takes. If you want something to look real nice, man, just inspect it. If you can see a scratch, or you can see a divot, or you can see a whatever, you're going to see it. We're blowing off the chassis to paint, and just taking notice of the paint shop. How many cars I've painted inside this place. The fan has got chunks of paint on the fan, like just big chunks of paint. You can take and chip the floor off, and that's the whole floor is like that with paint, an 1/8 thick, the whole floor. You know what I mean? The whole floor is an 1/8 thick of paint. Hard to believe, I know, but it's true. Are you ready? Do you want to wipe it off the rag? Wipe her off. Ooh, that's some nice control arm, baby. Some nice control arm. These are 65 Mustang control arms. I never knew it was going to grow into something like this. I was just going to build Jolene a car, and it's kind of grown and morphed into something more than it has, than I thought, because I'd never put much thought into it. I was just going to build her a car, and that's all there was to it. But these are 65 Mustang control arms, and I cut the centers out of them and then cased them in and made what you see. So even the control arms are custom. And the bottom control arms are custom, just like everything else. Motor mounts are custom. The frame is custom. I'm hoping that everything is going to work out fine because, you know, to be honest with you, I've made everything and I'm not sure. I know the front end goes up and down nice. I did not check the back end yet, and that's coming, but we're painting anyways. We're going to paint. And if it doesn't, I think we can fix it out of adjustment and that sort of stuff, I think that's what can be done. It can be fixed out of adjustment. And what I mean by that is that we can adjust something to make it work. Okay. So if you think of it and you got nothing better to do, figure out a paint scheme for me. I don't care if it's got flames or if it's got scallops or if it's got whatever. If you can figure out a paint scheme and I like it, I'd use it. Wouldn't it, baby?
Yeah. Be cool.
I always say that you should always be open-minded and be able to take any suggestions from anybody. You just, the time, sometimes it's aggravating to take a bunch of suggestions because you got to go through them all and figure out every one of them if they'll work or not. But suggestions are always good. I take suggestions all the time because sometimes my idea is not the best. And if I can figure out which suggestion is the best, that's the one I take.
What's Alex Gambino's blue and white car? Is it scalloped or?
Alex Gambino, Alex Gambino did a 1960 Ford. It was on the cover of Rodder's Journal. And I think he had scallops on it. I think he had lace on it. Fades on it. It was actually quite something. It was a beautiful car. 60 Ford Starliner, I think. And yeah, it was a beautiful car. I'm waiting for Alex to hit the covers again.
What do you need?
I need the arm down there.
It's heavy.
Yeah, that's the spindle. That's what the top control arm connects to. The top control arm goes in there, and then the bottom one goes in there. And then your rack and pinion goes in there. And that's where your wheel is.
Okay.
She says, let's do by this one here. What do you think? Nah, probably paint easier up here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
How do I want to do it? Who was that?
You.
No, it wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
What did I do?
Your belly.
Oh, my belly. All right, let's get some more. Get the next one. These have been sanded with 400. We'll do hang exact same way. Oh, I just put this on. I got to get another one though. Slowing you up. No worries. I've never done lace. Never taken my time for that. And I like it, just never done it. I like it all, to be honest with you. I like it all. And it's called inspiration from every car that you see. It's in a magazine or whatever. It's inspiration. Yeah, that was quite a car Alex did. It hit the scene quite heavy. It was quite nice.
So we still have to sand the rear end?
The what?
The rear end.
We do.
With 220 or just 400?
We're going to probably hit it with 220 first. We'll put a guide coat on it if you want to put a guide coat on it so we know where we sand it, where we haven't. And then we'll do 220 and then we'll 400 it. And we'll do it quickly. We will not make sure that every nick and crannies, whatever, but we'll buff it off. We're going to hang it up on that. Hang it up on this piece right here on the engine picker. We're going to have to get something geared up for the transmission. Maybe we can, that's the transmission crossmember there. Looks like quite something else, but looks like something Bugatti would have built. Doesn't it, huh? Baby? I'm going to do this. You can guide coat that. You might want, I don't know if you want to blow that off. I'm just going to take and rub some seam sealer on the welds like I always do. Or not always do, but just for this application.
want that guy coated?
I don't think so. It's fine. Just with the rear end, there's so many pieces that. What grit you got?
220.
Right on. You can see where the old, you can see exactly where the old mounts were on it, can't you? Mm-hmm. And when you sand it off, you'll be able to get it with that urethane. You'll be able to get it. I'm going to do a little seam sealing on this side because it's. I X-braced the transmission crossmember for the reason being is I wanted the chassis to be as sturdy as possible. So when the chassis, like, you know, having a chassis with the, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cross members going across it. Like there's 3 in the back, there's 2 in the front, but to have that center with a cross member in it like that, I really feel like it's really going to help sturdy the body of the car, or the chassis of the car, and that's what the goal was on that. Also, I think it's a little bit of appealing to have that cross member look like that. A little bit of appealing.
So do we have the drive shaft?
Do we have a drive shaft?
Yeah.
Most certainly.
So when do we...
When do we do that?
Yeah.
That has to be cleaned and dealt with. It has to be done just like your chassis has to be done. It has to be cleaned and dealt with. It hasn't been dealt with yet.
Okay.
There's a couple things that haven't been dealt with yet. The drive shaft is, you know, to make the drive shaft look like the rear end and make it look like the chassis, basically the exact same thing has to be done. And that has not been done yet. And we'll blame that on me. Not there yet. Basically, I'd like to get it rolling. And then after that, I'll probably take a break from it. Don't be surprised if we get some good weather. I want to chop something. We'll have it in for, you know, 3 or 4 days or a week or something like that. I'll probably chop something because I feel like chopping something. I do. So don't be surprised. I won't continue and finish it, but I like to chop it. I do that all the time. Just keep myself happy with doing what I'm doing. And sometimes it's nice to do that. Just bring something in and cut the roof off it and make it look cool and then set it back outdoors. I do that all the time. It's just fun to do. For me anyways. It's not that I have to finish it. It's just that I like to chop something and make it look different, and so I can visually see it. Just like we did the other Bugatti that time. I just brought it in and chopped it and made it look like something. There's mega amounts of hours to finish it, but it is fun to chop something up and make it look appealing. We've got the Jaguar out there. We've got a 4-door Jaguar out there that can be chopped up. We have a 19... What?
Aren't we going to save that for the big show?
Who knows? The big show. Woo! Baby's talking big show. We have it would be fun to go find something and do it right from the beginning, but whatever. We have the Jaguar out there that we're willing to chop up. We have a 42 door out there that I'd like to chop up. What else is out there I'd like to chop up? And most everything that we have to chop up, we haven't got many pieces to it, but we would make something out of it that would be fun. Just like the 36 Ford and the 49 Mercury, like we chopped it up to make something out of it. We still got to finish that. Yes, we do. And I think about it often.
Which one? Oh, the Plymouth?
No, the cab over. Yeah. And we have a Plymouth out here out front. It's kind of chopped up now, but we have it there. I chopped it up before. Ow. You didn't hit your little finger, did you?
Yeah. That looks nice, eh?
Yo, beautiful. When Jolene's going to stand it, I know it's going to get done nicely because she knows what's going on. And the guide coat does not lie. Does it, baby?
No.
Guide coat does not lie. So we got all these pieces hung up. We've got the transmission. I got that seam sealed, basically what I want a seam seal on it. That's good enough. I'm thinking it's good enough. I shouldn't say that around Jolene too much, should I? Good enough.
Yeah.
I see that it's got some filler on the end here I want to knock off, some metal. Anyways, we'll just leave that. How long are we into it? You got enough time to load it?
I think, but we can wrap it up.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm just kind of hanging out right now. I don't know if I want to get down and help sand. I don't know. I might. What's this?
220.
Oh, here we go. This is the underneath of it, so.
The most important?
Nope.
Why?
I just said that because I didn't want you to make me sand it that good, that's all. You know what's most important. Your top piece is for pictures, and this is for the underneath for looking. And like the guide coat's put on just to show you where you've sanded and where you haven't. It's not to make anything straight, just to show us where we're sanding and where we haven't, that's all. And if you don't use guide coat, you should. Jolene even said so. You should.
It's your friend.
What's that?
It's your friend.
It is your friend, yeah. Let you know. You hear that? Jolene said it's your friend. Wow, you're really going on her, huh? Yeah, you're really giving her, huh? Making her look good. Continue on. Don't stop because of me. So tomorrow we'll have all this stuff painted. We'll probably leave it hung, do nothing with it. Should probably bring you and show you. I don't know if you. We'll use a small gun. I showed the small gun what I'm going to paint it with. I'm going to use the same kind of paint. I'm going to use the same hardener. I'm going to mix it 4-2-1, 4 parts paint, 1 part hardener, 2 parts reducer, exact same thing. I'm going to spray it in high pressure with the small gun. And I guess, I don't know if I explained it before, I like spraying at high pressure, and the reason being is if I spray it at high pressure, the paint has no other choice to go on flat. If I've sprayed cars with low pressure before, and it did not look good. So, what I learned from that was, turn the pressure up. And when I turned the pressure up, I realized that I had to move a little quicker. You know, you can't be lollygagging when you're spraying at high pressure. You really have to be on the move and ready to paint. So,
I think there's a lot of questions, like when you say high pressure, like
what kind of pressure?
Yeah, like number-wise.
It's probably about 60 pounds. 60 pounds probably. I'm saying 60 pounds pressure coming out of the gun. Whatever it will allow without screwing up the pattern. 60 pounds, I would say. Oh, you want to show the guide coat thing?
Yeah.
Go for it. Explain your process, baby. And to me, if you can't explain what you're doing, you really don't know what you're doing, do you?
Yeah.
So if you explain it, the more you understand it, the better it is. Explain it, sweetheart.
No.
Go for it. Well, basically, where she's sanding is the high part of the flood. The low part of the flood is where all the black is. So she's taking the high part of the flood and taking it down where the low part is and making it all one flood. Exact same thing with filler, exact same thing with primer and that sort of stuff. But with the primer on this rear end, we do not have to make sure it's flat and smooth. We just have to make sure it's all one surface to take out any, imperfections. And that guide coat sets in there so nicely, give it a swipe, that you can see everything. Like if she swipes it here, you can almost see the gouges that are in it from buffing off the old brackets. And basically what she wants to do is she wants to take it down so it looks like this. There's the mark she found. She didn't like it, so she filled it. And basically that's what she's going for, is to smooth it all down like that. And that's the only way that that paint's going to look like that chassis, if it's sanded down like that. So you know and I know what has to be done. But, like always, you do as you please, and you take your car as far as you want to take it. And we'll do the same. Won't we, baby? We'll do the same.
If you didn't have enough product, like primer on there, we couldn't sand it down.
Say that louder.
If we didn't have enough primer on there, then we wouldn't be able to sand it to get the lowest part of the flood.
You got her, Pontiac. Got to have the product on there. Got to have the product. If you don't have the product, you can't. It's pretty hard to do the job. And that's generally why I like to mud things up quite heavy. And that way there I know I have enough product on to do the job. Don't have it, can't do it.
I need a new piece.
You need a new piece?
We can give away a...
Let's give away a hat or a shirt?
Yeah.
We're going to give away a hat or a shirt, people. We want to appreciate all your thoughts and all your watchings and all your goings on. And Sosa, cool truck. Well done. Well done. Sounded mean. Sounded mean.
I'm going to go grab the computer.
Can you do it in here, you think?
I'll try.
We'll go out there if you want.
It's okay, I have to get it set up too.
Okay.
Make sure.
Thought I better get back down with the pumpkin because she made me look bad on that. So I better get back at this. I like storm days. I just like storm days because it's so, what can I say? It's comforting, knowing that you got to stay home and just grab some food and grab some essentials and make sure you just bunker down and be with the person that you enjoy, and it's just nice. I find it nice, and it makes me think about nothing else than being home. No place like home, Dorothy said. No place like home. I agree. Alrighty, welcome back. I heard that.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to close the show out today? I'll put the thing on you.
It's okay, I can take it.
That's okay, she said. Next time,
You're the star.
we'll give you the thought of the day. Huh? You can You want to give the thought of the day, or the lesson of the day? I don't know if there's any lessons or not.
Oops.
It's going to work?
I think.
Wow.
648.
648 comments. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We've only had we were talking about comments this morning, and we've had a lot of comments lately, and we want to thank everybody for throwing out the comments, because you know what? It means you're watching, and you know what? The more you watch, the more we do, and it's good for me and you. Let's give away a hat or a shirt. Michael Hodge. Is that right? Yep. Michael Hodge. I would be interested in knowing how you touch up the frame sitting on the jack stands. Your frame is awesome. You talking with Jolene that way? Yeah, Jolene's awesome. Anyways, I'll explain it right now. It's sitting on the jack stands right at the present moment. I would take a piece of tape and put a piece of tape around this end on the round bar, the Crossmember. I put a piece of tape around this round on the round bar on this end. Throw a piece of plastic over it, and I would just paint. I would take a touch-up gun. I use this little gun here. I'd mix up a little paint, and I'd just sand it off lightly, and I will spray it under low pressure. Then I'd just pull everything off, and then I would have it fixed. Basically, that's what's going to happen. On the top of the hats, I end up getting a little bit of dirt on top of the hats. Not sure if it's not really necessary, but what I'm saying is, if I wanted to touch anything up, just tape it off. Like I tape the two ends off and just spray that itself. I'd have to put the jack stand somewhere else on the chassis that's already painted, obviously, but it's already painted, so I'd put something like a piece of carpet or a piece of cardboard to hold the chassis up. Maybe on the two brackets where it holds the rear end in, I'd hold the chassis up, I'd tape it off, put a little piece of plastic over it, and just come in and spray it with a touch-up gun. That's all there is to it. It wouldn't take much. I did the pulley on the engine of the LS engine. Basically that simple. Just put a little stuff on it so nothing gets over the other stuff and makes it fogged off, and just come in, paint it. The paint's already there, just have to put a little bit of paint on it to make it cover up, and that's basically what I would do. Piece of piss. Nothing to it. Takes a little bit of plastic to cover it up. You could even get away without plastic. Just put a blanket over top of it, put two pieces of tape around it, and just paint that little piece. Not get spraying around with the big high pressure. Not going to do that again. Just going to stay a little bit. Just fix it, and you would never tell or know. Piece of piss. Obviously, thanks for your comment. You get a hat or a shirt of your choice, and I guess I'd put a piece of tape around here. Put a piece of tape around here, and I just spray that bar in the back, and that's all there is to it. Have a good one, everybody. And I would say that, do you want to say anything?
I don't know.
Guide code is your friend.
Yeah.
That's what she's thinking. Guide code's your friend.
Yeah.
Have a good one, everybody.